Welcome back to my podcast. Happy New Year! Happy New Year, guys. Welcome back to Review by Top Shelf Tammie. That's me, where I review and make book recommendations for you guys to read. Oh my goodness, I am so excited. It is the first episode of the new year, and we kind of gonna just jump back into where we left off a little bit because I gave you guys some amazing Christmas reads. And as you know, if we do review, we got to do questions and discussions, right? So, again, Happy New Year's. Hope you did your homework. Let's dive right on in, okay? So, the last episode we did was the Christmas theme episode. I gave you guys 4 Christmas love story reads. Two of those books, of course, as you know, if you watched the last episode at this point, they fell flat to me. So we are only going to do questions and discussions for the last two, which was my favorite. So we are going to jump right into those books. And again, this is questions and discussions. All right. So the first book we're going to do today is going to be A Winter Kiss from the Thug I Love, a standalone by Bonnie Blanco. Now, I gave this book a 4.5 stars, and I hope you guys really, really, really enjoyed this book as much as I enjoyed this book. As I mentioned before, it was a Christmas love story. It didn't give too wintry Christmas because it was in a hot climate, so they didn't have like a lot of snow. And I'm a Chicago girl, like I need Christmas to have snow and cold and that, right? But it still was centered around Christmas. It was a Christmas themed book. I gave it 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. So jumping right into this book, let me guys refresh you of who our characters was. So we had Charm, she was the female love interest. We had Royal, who is going to be our hero swooping love interest, and then we had Neil, who was Charm's husband. Y'all, this book was a little bit crazy starting out, because my first one is not a question, it is a note, and it says red flag. Charm's husband has a routine of picking fights same day of the week every week so that he could stay away from the house every weekend. Y'all, I knew it was bullshit in the water when I read that. When she said that, I'm like, this Negro up to no good because it's too obvious, right? So I was just like, okay, we got to just figure out what his bullshit is. Lo and behold, I ain't gonna tell y'all, not right now. We gonna get to that part. But yeah, that was just my first note. That was like the opener of the book. We get a little bit of introduction on who Charm is, how her life is, and then how her husband is playing games. So that was my first note. Was it was a big red flag. And then, oh wait, and then we got to talk about him staying away from home. I could see the pick and fight part so that you can maybe like go out for the evening or whatever the case may be. But you are staying away from home on the weekend every okay. Next one. Next bullet point. Alrighty. Um, okay. Do you believe in young marriage? Because Charm was 27 in this book and she had been married for 10 years. That means she got married when she was 17. That means she had to know this guy before 17, which the book did explain. Charm and Neo did know each other before they got married because their families was very close. Their dads did business with each other, so it kind of was like destined for them to marry. But to answer my question, and of course, you guys are always free to comment down below or email me and let me know if you have a difference of opinion or what your opinion is. But no, no, I do not believe in young marriage because I believe kids, young adults, especially from the ages of 18 to 25, I feel like they should be able to freely date. Like you shouldn't be in a committed relationship. You should be sowing your royal oats. You should be having fun. You should be partying. You should be scratching things off your list. So when you get married, you feel complete. You don't feel like you are missing out on anything because you completed. things already. But when you give up like that age range from 18 to 25, to me, um you just don't get to do that. You are coming into adulthood, which is 18, then you become into legal adulthood, which is 21. So the levels of fun that you get to have in between like all these milestones in your life is so grand, right? So grand. So if you are in a relationship when this happened, I feel like it's not as grand, and then you can't really scratch the things off the checklist, and then you might look up when you like 30 and you got a little regret. So I do not advocate for young people to be in relationships at this young of an age, because it kind of turns into what this book turned into, right? I digress. All right, keep on going. Alrighty. So my next one is another bullet point. It says charm stash your money for a rainy day. Yes, as she should. I believe it was a young girl just in the news a couple weeks ago in celebrity gossip, and she was saying she broke up with her NFL boyfriend, and she didn't have nothing. She got to go back to a 9 to 5. Especially if your man has money, you supposed to be putting those coins aside for a rainy day. He giving you stacks of money. Okay, let me take this little piece right here and put it in a savings account. It's no way that you should walk away from a man that has money in the same position or maybe a worse position than when you was in when you met him. So her stash your money for the rainy day, she ate with that one. Okay. Alrighty. Um, what is Neil's secret? He was buying weed. He was having hospital visits. He was all over the place. I didn't know. I can't, no. I kind of guessed a little bit what his secret was going to be with the hospital. Because, anytime a man is in the hospital, that woman pushing out your baby. So I kind of seen that coming. But the buying the weed part, I'm like, yeah, he messing with some hood rat, because you got a cute old charm over here who just a housewife who don't do that, I don't think. And then you just out here. Then you got Neil. He whipping and running the streets. He making fights every weekend. He buying weed. He at the hospital. So I kind of guessed his secret or whatever like that. So, but yeah, he was just coming from all type of directions. Is China messing with Neil, or is she talking to Charm's brother? Okay, those of you who have not read this book, China is Charm's best friend, and when they go on the trip, um, that is when Charm kind of get to see that China got this little sneaky relationship going on, and she not letting them know who her man is. It's kind of given she talking to Neil, but I'm just like, oh, that'd be so dirty. In the way that their friendship was set up in the book, I was like, I would hate to see that for Charm. So I'm just like, who else could she be talking to? And that's when I'm like, let me put Charm brother as an option or whatever like that. So it is later revealed that it is Charm's brother and it wasn't Neil. Thank God, because I was like, I would hate to see that relationship go that way. So we can scratch that off. Alrighty. Bullet point. Charm and Neil ending up at the same dinner and them having dates that's not each other. Let me explain that again. Charm and Neil is married. They go to dinner. They're not with each other. They didn't know each other was going to be at the dinner, and they show up both with their own dates. Now, this is when the shit hits the fan, because Neil shows up with a baby mama who's claiming she's his fiance, right? And a baby. Can't forget, she was the baby mama, but we can't forget they had a baby with them. Then we have Charm, who shows up with Royal, her date, just regular degular cheating, just a side nigga. So Charm runs out. She goes home. She know the secret. Now she know why Neil been sneaking and creeping and geeking every weekend, right? Crazy. All right. So, did you see the ending coming? I mean, just because of I knew that this was gonna be a love story, kind of, sort of, but the way that it came, I didn't see it. So I'm not gonna tell you guys the ending, but I was very satisfied with the ending. I kind of seen it coming. It's still some things in between that dinner and the ending that I'm not discussing because I don't want the episode to run too long. So you gotta read the book. You got to read the book. So if you have not read the book at this point, hopefully this little snippet of questions and discussions help you to decide on this book. Um, yeah, right. So after the story questions, so these are questions are a little bit more thought provoking after you have read the story. My first question is the attraction in a story rooted more in chemistry or in chaos? So I do feel like Charm and Royal's love is rooted in chemistry. I like when they were in Miami, they were on vacation together, and he was such a nice gentleman. He didn't force or push her to do anything. They did have they did have sex. The sex was good. The sex, so it's good sex in the book. It's good sex in the book. But he was such a gentleman about it that he played the role like the sweet role where it's like he make the woman come to him and give it up. So like that was cute. And I feel like that was chemistry. Like he really put forth effort and like taking her on a date, like taking her to very unique places that he thought she would enjoy. Like he did the whining and dining. He did such a good job. So I feel like they bonded through chemistry. It was not trauma bonding. It was not too much chaos amongst Royal and Charm. So I really feel like they was meant to be together. So yes, to answer that question. Alrighty, my next question is how much of her decision to stay was choice versus circumstance? Now you guys are probably like, if you didn't read the book, then you guys are probably like, so, like I said, it is some stuff that happened in between that dinner and the ending of the book. And I'm not gonna tell you. I'm still not gonna tell you, but I'm gonna answer the question. So the people who read the book, then you will know what I'm talking about. I think her choice to stay was more so circumstance. Um, I feel like they had history. They had a lot of people counting on them, looking forward to their what they had going on. And so I do believe her Charm's choice to stay was more circumstantial than her wanting to be there. But in the end, she made the right decision. So that's all I'm gonna give you guys without spoilers, right? Because this book is gonna come up again, and I'm gonna spill all the tea. So hopefully you read it by the end. All right, last question. Do you feel like the story asks the woman to sacrifice more than the man? Absolutely. Because that's just the world we live in. Women, we always sacrifice in relationships more than the men. Especially in this one, knowing that everything that Neil had done and had been doing, and everybody was just like, get over it, put your feelings to the side. You got to stick it out. So yeah, she definitely sacrificed more than him because if you look at him, he was having his cake and eating it too. So he was making no sacrifices. He claimed he was happy with Charm, and then he had this whole side chick and the baby, and he was happy over there. So in his life, he just pressed for time, but he is absolutely satisfied. You got poor Charm who is getting cheated on, husband leaving every weekend, found out he had a baby. The man even went so far as putting a ring on his girl finger, and she's claiming to be his fiance, and he's already married. So, and then everybody asked Charm to stay and expected her to stay after that. So the sacrifices that they asked this woman, Charm, to make in the story was crazy. And you can actually relate that to the everyday world. So it's just like, yeah, women, we always sacrifice for relationships, a little bit. Alrighty, guys. So again, that was A Winter Kiss from the Thug I Love, a standalone by Bonnie Blanco. Again, guys, I gave this book a 4.5. I love this book. I recommend you to read this book. Bonnie Blanco, the review, I recommend you, girl. I liked this book. Read it. Okay, guys, moving on. Moving on to my favorite. This one was my favorite. I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. Alrighty, guys. So our next book is Christmas with a Menace to Society by Blackberry. Guys, I told y'all to read this one. This was my favorite book of the four. This one did it for me. Like I just mentioned before, I'm a Chicago girl. So when you talk about Christmas, I gotta have snow. I gotta have Christmas trees. I gotta have winter activities. So this one gave it. Oh, it gave true winter love to me. So yes, and the story was great. So don't think I was just blinded by the Christmas trees and the snow. Let's dive right in. So again, this is Questions and Discussions for Christmas with a Menace to Society by Blackberry. Alrighty. So let's give just a quick review of the characters in this book. And our main characters in this book, we have Scotland, who is the female love interest. We are going to have Liam, who is Scotland's boyfriend. And then we're going to have Blaze, who is going to be our hero love interest. That's what I'm gonna start calling him, a hero love interest. But they always saving the day. Alrighty. So my first one is actually a question, and it says, "Did Scotland overreact or make the right decision to break up with Liam after finding out he was cheating and having a baby?" Absolutely. And I love that for her because she literally states in a book like this was the first time that their relationship had something this dramatic happen, and she did not hesitate to do what needed to be done. She was like, "You got a baby. I don't got no baby. We've been together all this time. You cheated on me. You got a whole separate relationship going on over here. I'm done." I love that for her. Like, she didn't take no shit. She was like, "I'm out. You fucked up. I'm gone." I love that for her. And to answer my question, I do not think she overreacted. I do think as women, when men put us in these tough positions, we need to start walking away. Like, we value ourselves, you love yourself. We tell ourselves all these words of affirmation, and we need to stick it through. It be hard because it's like it be the love there and everything like that, and you don't want to do it, but we have to stick to the plan. He fuck up, leave him. And I love that. For Scotland was out. She was like, "I'm done." And I love that. So she did not overreact. To me, she did the right thing. Next one is also a question. How will Blaze react when he realized Liam is not on a trip? All right, so I'll give you guys just a tad bit of backstory because it's still the beginning of the book, so it's not giving too much away. Blaze is a hitman, and he is looking for Liam to kill him. And he knows that Scotland and Liam is supposed to be going on this trip. They have the fight the night before. Scotland goes through the phone. She sees that Liam is um texting with this lady. Well, the lady started like blowing his phone up, and you know how you get that little sneaky suspicion when your man phone just going off too many times in the middle of the night. And so she goes on the phone and she sees that he is texting back and forth with this girl. He got a little sweet pet name for her. And she's basically like, "I'm pregnant," and that, yada 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 yada. She break up with his ass, and she like, "I'm going on a trip by myself." So that's where my question comes from. How will Blaze react when he realized Liam is not on the trip? Now, I thought maybe he was going to kidnap Scotland and like hold her hostage or like draw her out to come to get Liam. That's not what happened. Okay, I was wrong. Okay. So yeah, I don't know what y'all thought or how y'all like theories went, but that was mine. It wasn't right, but it's okay. My next question was, what did you think about Scotland contemplating a one night stand with Blaze? I love it. I feel like y'all know my favorite question is like the get back. I don't feel like it was get back. I feel like it was more over that, more so of that saying like, to get over one man, you got to get under a new man. Not saying that's always like the best thing, but if you read the book at this part, Blaze seemed like a safe choice to do that with. So I wasn't mad at her. I was not mad at her. I was rooting for her. I was, get it, girl, get it, okay. um, this next one. a little while. Did you see Blaze being 6'5"? I had to throw that in there because all us women love a tall tree to climb. Okay, so it's just like you 6'5". Okay. So I had to put that in questions and discussion because I think him being 6'5" was that. Okay, yeah. So visually, it gives you visuals like 6'5", you getting picked up, you get put on the ceiling. I digress. Alrighty. Next one is not a question, it is a statement, but it says Blaze being a heartless killer, but he definitely knew how to romance the ladies. And so that's why I'm just like 6'5". We contemplating a one night stand. He knew how to romance her, like he knew how to say the right things. He did the right things. Boy, go ahead. Go ahead, come get it. Definitely. Like I love Blaze. I like Blaze. Okay. Um Next one is a question. And it says, will Liam catch Blaze in Scotland in the act? So I did think the way that they was carrying on, I did think that Liam was gonna come up there and catch them, like in the act of face down, ass up, no drawers on type of thing. Like, so I'm just like, oh my God, when is he gonna come? When is he gonna come? When is he gonna come? Like, that was my question. I would not answer and I would not tell y'all if it happened or not. But yes. My next question says, should Scotland feel betrayed after finding out the real reason of Blaze's mission? For me, I felt like because like you gotta ask this question because the way that he is whining and dining and they both feel like they're falling in love, and especially with her falling in love, you have to always question his motives. So it's like, am I falling in love and is you doing all this for the right reason? And then once I find out you was on a mission, do I feel betrayed? You know what I'm saying? I will say that, huh, I feel like maybe a little bit you could I feel like she should feel betrayed a little bit because like I just said, your intentions wasn't honest and you didn't tell me. But I do feel like when she finally confronted him about it, like he didn't lie. So that's always a plus in my book. Like honesty is always a plus. So when she did find out that he was on a mission to kill Liam, and she kind of thought he was trying to play her, but he cleaned that shit up like real quick. And that lets me know like his intentions was pure. So she didn't stay in that I feel betrayed stage like too long type of thing. So anyway, I like Blaze again. Blaze did everything right. So, some more things happen, but again, I don't want to make these episodes too long. I don't want to give it all away. Just in case you guys have not read this book, this is a little bit for the people who read the book. We can kiki and haha. And if you have not read the book at this point, maybe this help you in deciding if you want to read this book, right? So we're not gonna give it all away. So without further ado, my next question is: did you see the ending coming? Yeah. Yes. No. I'm teetering. I'm teetering. Like you know that they gonna fall in love and you know that they gonna be together, but you absolutely don't kind of know how they gonna get there. So I guess the answer is no. So no, I didn't see the ending coming. I love the ending. It was great. I won't tell you guys the ending. Let's do after the story questions and then we gonna wrap this thing up. Is Blaze intensity romantic, terrifying, or both? And why do those lines blur so easy in a story like this? Now, they are on a trip, a short trip. So for me answering that question, I would definitely say his intensity is romantic to me because he understood the assignment. He's only there for a couple of days. He really likes her. So it's like he is applying pressure. In a different situation, in different settings, it could be terrifying because it could be thought of it could be classified as like love bombing, but because I want to say his intentions were pure and he wasn't crazy, I'm just gonna go with romantic. Okay, that's why I'm gonna leave it at. Was Scotland ever truly free to choose Blaze, or was the environment, isolation, heartbreak, snowed in, influencing every decision? For me, I feel like she was absolutely free to choose Blaze because it wasn't like she was kidnapped. It wasn't like she was forced to be there. She chose to be there. She chose to participate. It wasn't like they were locked somewhere and she didn't have a choice. And he always gave her free will, even though she didn't know he was on a mission the whole time. He knew, but he still gave her free will, and it wasn't forceful. So I'm going to say that it was free will. How does setting a story during Christmas heighten attention and emotional stakes? I think it definitely heightened the emotional stakes a lot. Just because I do feel like Christmas is towards the end of the year. It's towards the beginning of a new year, and it makes people look at their life and just, I guess, like, you audit yourself. Where am I at with my love life? And her love life sucked at that point. His love life was non-existent. So it kind of was like it was pushing them together. Then you got a really happy holiday, and then you're going through heartbreak or you don't got nobody, and then you got this really cool person that just entered your life. So Christmas actually and the holiday actually play a huge part in getting them together. With the emotional stakes of this book, I loved it. Y'all know this was my favorite. I can't stop smelling. I can't stop saying that. So again, Christmas with a Menace to Society by Blackberry. I gave this book 4.5 stars. I recommend you guys to read this book. And a review, I recommend you. Right? That is it for this episode. That is it for the Christmas edition of Review by Top Shelf Tammie. Wrapping it on up. Alrighty, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, this was the Christmas edition. Again, Happy New Year. If you want to make book suggestions for me, if you are an author who would like your book or your poem read on the show, please do not hesitate to email me at ts_tammiepod@yahoo.com. If you want to follow me on the social medias, my social handles, top shelf underscore Tammie on Instagram, and then top shelf Tammie on TikTok. If you are watching from YouTube, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn your notifications on, even though I am here every Thursday, except for the holidays. We just came off a break. All right, until next time, guys. See